Hey everyone, this is Matthew before the camera. Do you remember the Kingelon C1000 that we tested last time? Well, meet his cousin, which is the Elephone P2000. So recently we have tons of smartphones equipped with fingerprint scanner coming to our stores. In terms of design, they all pretty much look the same, but we have different price range for these smartphones. So in terms of specification, the Elephone P2000 is more powerful than the C1000. So in this episode, we're going to take a look at this Elephone P2000 and just to see how it performs. Alright, first off, we're going to take a quick look at this packaging and also the contents. Frankly, I like what I'm seeing right now because the color of red and black is kind of badass. Frankly, it's giving this box a kind of hellish look. You know what I'm saying? So especially with this logo in here, I can't say that this one is a packaging of a Shanzai smartphone anymore. So let's open up the box. And first off, we have the telephone, but we're going to talk about that later. So inside we have a user manual. I don't think you need this anyway. Plus, the English is always broken, so why even bother printing out this thing? Plus we have a film of protection for the screen. Then you have a micro USB cable and the charger of a USA format. Voila. And unfortunately we only have one battery in this box. Okay, let's take a look at the capacity. Okay, the only battery in this packaging is of 2650 mAh, and I don't think this is enough for a smartphone of 5" in HD. Plus you have a octa-core processor plus 2 GB of RAM. But we will get to that later to see if it really lives up to our expectation. So let's divert our attention quickly to the smartphone, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit, frankly. So in terms of look, I don't think there's much to talk about, because last time with this Kingelon C1000 we already looked into it in all the details almost. So in terms of look, these two are identical. The only difference is the color, and I personally prefer the color white because why? Make it looks more like a Xiaomi or whatsoever. So it looks more classy. Plus you have an inscription or logo right here. So voila, this is not a bad one, frankly. Okay, let's see what's inside there. So, as always, you have this double-layered design for the SIM card and the micro SD card and placement, and I personally don't like it that much, frankly, because in terms of accessibility, it's kind of pain in the ass. So, right here, I'm gonna insert this standard SIM card and this micro SD card. So if these emplacements were separated, I can almost insert them instantaneously. But with this kind of design, you got to be a little bit more patient. Okay, right now let's put on the battery. And I don't think we gotta measure the length or the width and the thickness. I don't think we need that anymore, but it's important that we see how much it weighs. Okay, 156 grams, not so bad. And let's try this one. Well, it's pretty much the same. Okay, right now we gotta start the smartphone and see how much time it needs to get to the home screen. Okay, a little bit more than 30 seconds and we are finally here. And the screen, frankly, at first glance is not bad at all. The colors are just beautiful and the brightness is not that aggressive. You have a very good contrast of color right here, and plus the viewing angle is correct. So this screen almost gives me the impression of that of a Xiaomi Mi 2, almost. So before I talk about this system, I'm gonna verify one thing, which is the LED notification. Okay, then this one has a LED notification, but just like the Kingelon C1000, this is rather too small. But in terms of brightness, it's acceptable. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so y'all can see for yourself. Okay, from this distance, it's still quite visible. Alright, this LED notification passed my test. Alright, let's see the reactivity of this system. Not bad at all. It's what it should be having on a octa-core processor plus 2 GB of RAM. This is what it should be doing. Okay, then there's no problem in it. And let's pass on to the settings and to see what's special in the settings. So one thing, you have this configuration for the LED notification. Well, it's kind of classic. You can change color for different occasions and voila. There's nothing quite complicated with this. Okay, then you have, of course, the settings for the fingerprint scanner. Okay, right here we're going to test this the reactivity of this fingerprint scanner. So where do I start? Alright, looks like I have to do the very annoying swiping scanning again. Once, twice. Okay, it's all good. Third time, fourth attempt, succeed. Fifth, sixth, 7, 8. Okay, it's all passed. Then it will ask you to give an alternative password. I'm just gonna get a quick one. Alright, it's on. So for the unlock, I'm gonna choose fingerprint lock. So we have fingerprint 1 registered. So let's see if it can works more reactively than the Kingelon C1000. Okay, first one, not bad at all. Let's try it again. Second attempt, not bad at all. Okay, let's try for the last time. And frankly, I didn't position my finger pretty well. It's kind of like this instead of this, but it recognizes pretty well. So not bad. This is kind of an improvement compared to the Kingelon C1000. Okay, moving on with the gesture censoring. Well, I'm not that interested into this one. Not so crazy about it, but whatever. Let's see. Well, for some reason, it does not respond. And obviously, it's all active, but it just doesn't respond, which is quite bizarre. Alright, that's not my problem. And moving on. So last thing we talk about is the MFC. Okay, for this one. Okay, for the MFC, I've prepared a Nexus 7 which has absolutely the MFC function. So let's see if the pairing is that painful. Okay, obviously it's not. It responded. Let's begin the beaning. Well, it's completed. Okay, at least we know now the MFC is working and the pairing is rather easy. So there's another improvement in terms of functionality. Okay, what's next? Next, we're gonna take a look at the IMEI code. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Alright, you have two IMEI code at the 35. It's all visible. Then let's take a look at, okay, I messed up. Let's take a look at the frequency, compatible frequencies. Okay, for GSM it's the classic 4-band, but for 3G we have 2850 and 800. No 900, so friends, you can forget about it. Okay, then you have the classic 4-band for another SIM card in GSM. So that's all it has. Okay, let's moving on to the benchmark. First off, we start with Antutu-X. Right, score we have 23,020. Frankly, the score is lower than I expected for octa-core equipped with 2 GB of RAM. And let's see the details. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Alright, frankly, right here we're looking at a score which is rather correct, but except for one thing, which is the 3D graphics. Because you know, a couple of days ago I just tested the TinyDeal, which has also a 5-inch screen, but the resolution is in Full HD. So the score of the TinyDeal is almost 5020 something. So this one, in terms of score 3D graphics, kind of low, frankly. Alright, moving on with the specification. So for the phone, it's recognized as the Elephone P2000. Then we have a system expert system of Android 4.4.2. I think this one is the minimum requirement for all the Chinese smartphone out during this time of the year. Okay, CPU, it's MediaTek 7592 plus a GPU of Mali 450. Always the standard issues configuration. Plus you have a resolution of HD, the camera 30 megapixels. We'll look into that later. Alright, for the RAM, it's 2 GB of RAM, but the ROM, I'm sorry, this is not so generous than I thought. There's only like 8 GB of RAM presented, so this is not that generous. Plus we have the frequency of the CPU, which is a maximum of 1.7 MHz, which is correct. And that's not much to talk about. Okay, for the density of pixels, you have 320 dpi. Kind of beautiful, frankly. For the front-facing camera, 8 megapixels. No, I'm sure there will be at least 3 megapixels that are interpolated, so you can just drop with this shenanigan. Okay, this is the score for Antutu. I think we should move on to a 3D test score, like Citadel. Not bad at all, but frankly the speakers is kind of weak. Wow. All of a sudden it's become way too strong. Alright, I will let you be the judge. but I personally just love what I'm seeing on the screen. Okay, let's run the benchmark. Okay, so far the FPS rate has been stable around 60 and 50. Plus, wow, this speaker is just very loud. Okay, at the same time, I'm gonna show you the view angle right here. Just beautiful, isn't it? Uh-oh, I think I have a warning about the battery temperature. And I think we best look into that later on, pretty much at the end of this test. Okay, I think I gotta cut this. And honestly, I've already done a test before and I have a screenshot done. So you might find it out on the description right below. Okay, we're gonna go on with other tests. Okay, moving on with the Z device test. To see the performance of all these sensors. You phone nerds just love this kind of test, don't you? Okay, begin with the accelerometers. Well, apparently high sensibility, that's assured, but I don't think this is quite accurate. But anyway, it passed. Okay, for the compass, I think this one's gonna take a little bit more time than expected. Oh, what happened? Let's try turning it around like 360 degrees to see if it points to a drastically different directions. Wow, what happened? So obviously there's a problem of some kind. I'm not sure what it is, but it's kind of bothering, frankly. Wow, did you see that? So for the compass, there might be a problem, but I'm not a phone geek, so I can't tell you how to solve this problem. Moving on with the light sensors. Okay, that's quite reactive. It passed. Moving on with proximity sensors. Okay, it's functioning well. NFC, we already had this. Okay, gyroscope. Not bad at all. And plus gravity sensors. Let's turn it around a little bit, 90 degrees or something. Okay, 180 degrees. Okay, it's correct. Then line acceleration. Okay, it does not respond for some reason. I don't know why, but it is ticked on this list, so it's kind of suspicious. Okay, for the rotation vectors. Let's turn it on a little bit. Okay, this is responded, but we don't have readings on this chart. But whatever. So in terms of all these captors, it's rather functional, except for the compass, which is a huge downside. But I'm not sure if there's any problem with the in this room with the magnetic field. I'm not sure, but obviously there's got to be a problem with the compass. And for the GPS, okay, since I can't do a field test, I've already done a test before this, and I just saved a screenshot. Alright, where is it? Pictures, screenshots. Alright, this is the screenshot of our initial test of the GPS. And as you can see here, it took a little bit more than 1 minute to detect the 11 satellites. But the reception is not that good. Plus, we are in the suburb of Shenzhen, so the reception is not that good. But anyway, this GPS is still acceptable, frankly. It's not. I've seen worse, frankly. Okay, so much for all the sensors and captures. We're gonna move on to a little video test. Okay, moving on with the HD video test. And for this test, I have prepared a file which is rather small in MP4 format. The size is a little bit less than 200 MB. So it's not a huge file, but we'll see the quality of image. Okay, in this case I'm gonna choose video player. Alright, obviously I forgot to activate the auto rotation. Okay, I think I just better keep my mouth shut and let you be the judge of it. But we're not going to stay long on this test because this video will already took up like 5 minutes of our time. I don't think it's worth it. I'm only going to show you parts of this video. Okay, not bad at all, but I don't plan on staying this for the whole morning because I don't have all day. So for the video test, I think that the image is quite beautiful. Okay, thank you, Samsung. Alright, moving on with the camera test, and this time I really have to plug into an external battery pack because we are really running low on battery charge. Okay, first off, I'm gonna show you the reactivity of the autofocus. As you can see, my hands are kind of shaky, so it's not that easy for it to stabilize. But the way I see it is rather so-so, because you have to be really stable, then you need to wait for 1 or 2 seconds for it to function. In many urgent cases, it's not gonna work well for you, so you can't count on it. But anyway, cameras has always been the major weakness of most Chinese smartphones. So I don't expect much from it. So let's see if we can take a picture. Okay, mind you, the settings is all default. It's all by default. So it's more like 8 megapixels plus 5 megapixels interpolated, so because the images is just very fuzzy. Plus you have a very bizarre color rendering. It's just way too white. But anyway, that's what it does. And plus, I'm gonna show you right here some photo that I took outside in both normal mode and in HDR mode, and also a video, a short clip that we took outside also. And I will leave you to be the judge. Alright, moving on with the test of Wi-Fi and Internet. First off, we have a rather good reception of a Wi-Fi signal because the router is on the same floor and I don't think it's far away from this room. So let's see the one that we are connected to. It's, wow, rather good signals. So let's start it with the proxy first, because I plan on logging on to sites like Facebook or YouTube. Alright, YouTube. Okay, it's still kind of acceptable loading speed. But why are most of these videos are in Chinese? I'm never interested in any of those. Alright, let's try another videos. Wow, this just kind of way too long to charge. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, let's change another one. So for loading the text and images, there's zero problem. It's very fast. But for videos, it's just really, really painful. Maybe it's a problem of our company's Wi-Fi. But anyway, what is confirmed is that the YouTube can work on this smartphone. So next, I'm gonna try Google Plus. No, I won't add my photo. Only Wi-Fi, no thanks. Cancel. Alright, let's see. Not bad at all, frankly. Okay, that passed the test for the Wi-Fi. And lastly, let's see. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try our own website. Okay, not bad at all. This takes like less than 40 seconds for the most part. Okay, not bad at all. So for the test of internet and Wi-Fi, this one is rather performant well. So let's move on to gaming test. Alright, for the gaming test, I'm not gonna do the MFC again because, you know, I just sucked at it. So I switched to another recent title, which is called Injustice, which use Unreal Engine. Quite impressive in terms of graphics for mobile devices. Plus, this game is not small at all. The total size of the files adds up to more than 1.1 gigabytes. Wow, nice effect. Okay, charging has been a little bit longer than expected, but it's acceptable. We just try a random fight scene. Okay, it's a fight game. Alright, I just find out. Alright, so far so good. You have to swipe a lot to attack. Okay, I sucked at racing game, but I can be defeated on this one. Okay, obviously I might be wrong. Alright, finally one locked out. Two locked out. Okay, down to my last guy. Last girl, in fact. Okay, not bad at all, frankly, the gaming experience, and obviously this smartphone handles well the graphics. So for gaming test, it's rather satisfactory. Okay, last thing to talk about before I go is the battery. So as you can see here on the chart, let me explain. Last night I left the mobile network on for all night. So in terms of conservation of energy, this is quite impressive. So all night long, there's no drastic drop in terms of battery level. So it's always been stabilized around 35 or 34 or something. So it's quite impressive in terms of energy conservation. But during the test, as you can see, the charge level can drop very drastically. So in terms of battery temperature, it's rather stable. It never surpassed 40 degrees, as you can see here. Just a little bit back then, we tested on a HD video on Epic Citadel and also a huge 3D game, but it's rather controllable. Okay, for voltage, no anomaly. All seem normal. So for the battery, the only downside is maybe the capacity, 600 plus 50 milliampere. I don't think that's gonna be enough for, you know, multimedia usage addicts. So anyway, for the battery, it's acceptable, but they should have put one more battery in the box, but they didn't even bother it. Anyway, if I were the buyer, I would pretty much would like to pay more for another battery. So I hope you like this test, and I hope that this contents can help you a lot in your purchasing decision. So for all the tests that I have done on this smartphone, I always keep a screenshot, so you may find the screenshots right down on the description below, and we'll see you next time.